Yeah, so obviously a little bit different morning for us this week, compared to last Monday. Just really proud of our whole team effort. This morning as we're watching our film that we always watch on Monday morning, just the sideline, the focus, the effort. It started in practice on Monday of last week. We talked about that really on Monday. How do we handle? How do you handle coming off a loss? And our guys handled it. They know, every week we talk about playing for a championship, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. It's another championship week for us. But just the effort, the practice for the week, as I said, the sidelines, the focus. We had a good crowd there, a lot of good energy, and it sure was great to get that first win at home. Now, turn our attention to Southern Miss. I think this is one of those games where records are irrelevant. Got total respect for Coach Hall, known him for a long time. What a great coach he is. He's done a great job at all of his different stops. So we know they're going to be prepared. We were looking forward to playing them last year at home. That game got canceled on us. So, we really have memories from the last time we were there. So, we've got work to do this week and get ready. And in all conference games, we really say, it's 0-0. We know it's going to be a huge game for them. It's a big game for us, and we've got to have another great week and get ready for them. Questions?
Obviously, like you talk about all the time, each conference game, championship game, how much easier is it to get the guys up this week, considering it is a rivalry game as well, and considering the last time y'all played them, they handled y'all pretty easily.
Yeah, and that's a long time ago, but it's fresh in our minds. So, I think we talk all the time about being self-motivated, and we're going to try and be motivated the same way every week. But conference games are different. So there is a history with Southern Miss and UAB, and I think proximity. They've got guys from Alabama. We've got guys from Mississippi. They're on our side of the conference. So all those things that lead into it. And it's the next game. So it's all those factors that go into, for it to us. And big deal for us, it's the next game, it's a conference game. So that makes it a championship game.
What do you see from their quarterback? He's a dual threat. Even against Alabama's defense, he even gave them fits as well.
Well, they've kind of gone through some different quarterbacks, and they've I think what we're seeing now out of the quarterback they're using right now is he is a guy that can run and throw. I think they do a lot of different things. They get backs out. They're constantly dragging folks across. They, RPOs, and they just do a really good job of mixing up their play calls. And I think, the quarterback they're using now is doing a good job.
Moving along on that offense, you look at the running back, Frank Gore Jr., obviously we know who his dad is. Just, how do y'all kind of defend against a guy like that who's, just got it in his blood and in his genes to go out there and get the job done?
Yeah, he's a really good running back. I mean, we got to spend a lot of time on those guys last year. I think the game got canceled on Thursday, so I watched him a lot last year, and then obviously just kind of getting started watching now. But to have those bloodlines, he's got high expectations for himself. He's really good out of the backfield, got great hands, strong runner, good vision. Yeah, we're going to do a good job on him, no doubt. Any other questions?
Obviously, we got Hayden, 31 straight games with a reception. Just talk a little bit about that. Obviously the focus, the just the attention to detail, just the consistency it takes to do something like that.
Well, with Hayden sitting here, I'd just tell him how proud I was that he decided to play one more year for us, and what a great leader he's been. And we talk a lot about him being a warrior, and blocking him. And we had 2 or 3 clips this morning where he's giving extra effort on some blocks. Had a really big catch down the end zone. He's got to hang on to the ball, make sure he's got both hands on the ball. But he's just been a great player for us, and I still remember his big touchdown catch he had in Hattiesburg all the way back. I guess that was in 2017, wasn't it? So, he's been a great player and a great leader for us. And of course, then I got Alex Wright sitting here who had a well of a game. So, really proud of both these guys. Really proud of the whole team.
As far as quarterbacks, do you see Dylan kind of continue to be the starter, or is Tyler going to come back just health-wise? Or
yeah, Tyler's about well now. Dylan's the starter right now, and as we always say, who knows what will happen throughout a season. And we've lived it. Where we've gone all the way down to our third-string quarterback. But Tyler will be ready. He gave us great leadership on the sideline Saturday. And then Dylan is, is getting better every game, and he's our starter right now.
Along that same thread, you got a few guys back on defense. Are you expecting any more guys coming back in the next couple of weeks?
Well, we're waiting kind of to see where Chris Moe and Dejon Turner, they're kind of working their way back. And, we've been banged up, but we did get a few guys back last week, and it made a big difference. And hopefully we can continue. And, like we said, we're in a 2-game season right now trying to get to that open date and try and rest up a little bit. But, right now is our focus on, one at a time. But maybe we will get a couple more guys back this week.
Just speak to that kind of the pass rush, the aggression y'all had on Saturday. 8 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss. Y'all were just in the backfield constantly. Prior to with Malik Willis, where he was just really slippery, y'all were able to really get behind him and get your hands on the quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's a constant effort. And maybe you get an eye-opening experience when you play a guy like the guy we played the week before and wouldn't lack of effort. I think that was just maybe the being on the field too long and injuries, and then give him a lot of credit. He was a great player, but that probably made us better, and I think it really tells the D-line what they have to do, and it's relentless, stay on your feet, get off blocks. We had really good pursuit. We had good coverage, which helped some of those sacks, but, really proud of our front guys for playing the run first. We stopped the run on first and second down, forced them in some passes, and, they made some plays on us on third downs. We had some, couple unfortunate penalties, a few unfortunate penalties, but the front was relentless, and especially third and fourth quarter, we really got after them.